Imagine a classroom. Now take out the walls, add a fishing pond, an archery space, tall trees, and a professional outdoor learning team. That's Nature Niños. We are the New Mexico Wildlife Federation's youth initiative, and we connect families to learning in the outdoors. Whether we're at our home base in Albuquerque, in schools, or out on a trail, we take the guesswork out of getting outside so youth and families across generations can enjoy and learn in nature.
Nature Niños!
The goal of this project was to identify the best practices to effectively engage youth and their families in hunting and angling, focusing on communities not historically involved in these activities. Our team compiled the leading strategies in youth engagement utilizing a mixed methods approach. This included identifying educational frameworks from the leading organizations in outdoor education, conducting a literature review to understand what peer-reviewed research existed, and hosting 3 listening sessions with partner organizations within and beyond our AFWA region that are either implementing hunting and angling programming or other outdoor programming. Many barriers were identified throughout our research, including cost, transportation, adult supervision, and the community perception of hunting and angling. NMWF implemented potential solutions to many of the identified barriers to create positive social cultural experiences for participants. The Nature Niños program utilized these findings to release the research report, Engaging Marginalized Youth in Hunting and Angling, Identified Best Practices and Opportunities. The action guide, Breaking the Barriers to Nature, a how-to guide for engaging marginalized youth in outdoor programming, and host the Outdoor Adventure Summer Camp to serve over 300 youth during the summer of 2022. This camp invited youth typically not engaged in the outdoors to meet community mentors in conservation, who introduced them to activities such as angling, archery, and so much more.
A big part of the multi-state grant that we got through the Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies was really focused on being able to bring more youth and families into the idea of hunting and fishing. And so a big part of our camp, although not all of it, does revolve around that.
Middle of the day when it's hotter, they'll drop down deeper. And so you can adjust the length of this so that you're setting the depth at which you're fishing.
So every Wednesday the kids are fishing. Not only fishing, but we're teaching them how to clean the fish, and we're teaching them field to table by allowing them to cook the fish for lunch that day, and encouraging and talking about, we don't just fish to fish, but we fish for an idea of sustainable eating.
Because I love being outdoors personally, and most of my core childhood memories come from, being outside, and I think that's something very special to be a part of, is creating those core memories for kids and getting them engaged.
You start your finger in here, that open space here. Grab it there, you're grabbing all those gills. Put your thumb there on the spine, keep it from rolling away. And pull all that out in one piece.
The other aspect of that is archery, and so we're taking archery on another level. Like, we've engaged with it for the first week of each session as like a sport activity, and then as the sessions progress, we really turn it into this is actually something that you can use to go hunt on the public lands, to be able to identify wild game, and to be able to provide your family with sustainable meals.
Okay, draw. Touch your smile. Make sure your partner's touching their smile. Aim at the target and shoot. Okay, let's knock the second arrow. Get a second.
We do have interpreters on site every day on program when we have kids that are deaf or hard of hearing. And with an interpreter, you can pretty much do anything, So as long as we're keeping programs at a level where the interpreter can keep up, we found great success in being able to include everyone within the program.
If you have an arrow that doesn't click on like that, get it out of service, because what happens, it could fall off when they're drawing back, and then it creates a dry fire. So why do you suspect we have hunting dogs? Why else would I want to hunt a bird, a quail or a grouse? we hunt to eat. And I and my family mostly eat all animals that we kill on our public lands. And the other part of it is it's super fun for the dogs. These dogs are bred to hunt. They love it.
All guns are always loaded. Never let your muzzle cover something you're not willing to destroy. Keep your finger off the trigger and be sure of your target. Those are the 4 main rules. If you follow all those, nobody ever gets hurt, nobody ever gets shot, and we're safe with firearms. Okay? Now lean forward. There you go. Now put your cheek down on this. There you go. Now with this eye, you're going to look through that sight. You're going to put that in that groove, and then you kind of use this hand to move it around and move this onto your target.
Good job, man. That's 3 for 3. 4.
When we're talking about sustainable eating and we're talking about healthy eating and food equity and things like that, it doesn't always have to revolve around hunting. It doesn't always have to revolve around killing an animal, which some people just aren't comfortable with quite yet. We have some great partners like at the Agri-Nature Center, right? So if they find agriculture as their niche, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna funnel that specific child, an individualized plan, right over to the Agri-Nature Center and get them connected and make sure that they have a space where they're able to flourish in the passion that they have found.
Have you guys ever seen this beautiful red stuff?
No. I was wondering about that. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty awesome. I love this stuff. It grows really well. It's called red amaranth.
Okay.
So it'll form a seed head at the top, and it's a grain, kind of like rice or quinoa or something like that, and you can clean it and cook it as a grain. But you can also eat the greens and just take these beautiful red leaves and put them in your salad, and you can just
that's what you eat.
Wow.
eat them like that.
Okay.
And you can take the big leaves, which are tougher, and you can cook it like spinach. You chop it up and cook it like spinach.
Oh, that's what it's in the salad.
And it's delicious. Yeah.
Can I try one?
Oh yeah. Graze all you want.
So Raven got closer, flew closer and closer to that song when he came to right where that song was coming from. That little house in the forest next to the edge of the
litters of leaf there, and underneath the leaves they dug away the same way that the spotted towhee kind of digs up the leaves to find something to food, but they were looking for that sound, and there it was.
It's a multi-leveled approach when we're looking for impact, and I think at its most basic level is engagement in the outdoors, period. I think kids coming out of the pandemic have really struggled with making friends. They've struggled with getting from behind the screens, and we're giving them that opportunity to play in the mud, get dirty, be with friends, get some fresh air. And yes, they're learning while they do it. And yes, we hope that they're gonna pick up a passion or two while they're with us. I had a parent email me the other day saying that she has not seen her 9-year-old this happy in the last 3 years. Being able to be with friends and be outside, she has just had this spark of energy in her since she was at camp.
Hi, I'm Cassidy. I'm 11, and my favorite part of camp was fishing because I got to learn how to fish, how to gut a fish, and I also learned how to bait a hook.
My name is Jake. I am 14. My favorite part of camp was the fishing because this was my first time fishing. We tried to fish a really long time ago, but we just didn't get to it. I'm happy I finally got to fish. I liked catching it and cooking it.